Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Man, I am so excited. So I've got this young lady who's going to tell us all about, I guess, being Miss DMV. Keesha, welcome to the platform. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm excited to be here and glad that you guys chose me.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the beginning, and we're going to talk about what does it mean to be Miss DMV? What does that title mean to you? What were some of the things that you had to go through? What are some of your responsibilities?
Wow, that's a lot from the beginning. Being Miss, we're going to fast forward that one a little bit, okay. But being Miss DMV to me is basically being a representation of women all across the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. Of course, that's what the DMV stands for those who may not know. It's a chance to change the world as models are seen. It's a way to spread knowledge, education, and also to use the title as a platform in trying to help DC become a statehood.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So the title is for a year. So in that year, what are some of your responsibilities that you will have to do? I guess, what are some of your rounds that you'll have to make?
So the interesting part of Miss DMV is it is not solely a beauty pageant.
Yes.
It actually started as a model competition very similar to America's Next Top Model.
Okay.
Within that reign, you become the face of Kapture Models. So you will exhibit style, grace, fashion, expertise at multiple shows such as New York Fashion Week, DC Swim Week, Philadelphia Fashion Week, so at all the major fashion weeks, including going out of the country, Paris, Paris, Italy, etc.
Wow.
So it's a lot. We have a couple of scheduled events along the shoreline, which would be like Atlantic City, Myrtle Beach, where else are we going? Virginia Beach.
Yes.
And then we'll also do some work over in the Virgin Islands.
And how long have you guys, or how long has the agency or the pageantry been up and running?
The pageantry actually started in 2018. So we had one previous Miss DMV, but unfortunately COVID hit in 2020.
Yes.
So it's almost like we're doing a rebirth. So although I am the second Miss DMV, it's almost as if I am the first starting all over again. We had to change a lot of how we do things.
Yes.
And reorganize the business and what we're focusing on as that title here in the DMV area.
Wow. Okay. So now here we go, Keesha. How did you get started with this platform and being, I guess, a model, I guess, an actress? How did all this come about? How did all this come about?
That is a fairy tale, Kevin, to be honest with you. I've always started, let me see. I started modeling probably at the age of 14.
Okay.
I did fashion shows in school, and for those who are of my age, which I will not say, remember the bowling league fashion shows, you remember the roller skating ring fashion shows, you remember your high school fashion shows.
Yes.
So that's pretty much how it kind of started.
Okay.
When I got older, got married, I kind of pushed it off to the side, you kind of take care of other responsibilities.
Yes. And
then within the last year, I was approached by a random person.
Yes.
That kind of was like, hey, you have a familiar face. Does anyone tell you ever look like X, Y, and Z, or this celebrity, et cetera? Have you thought about modeling? Have you thought about acting? And I'm thinking, acting?
Okay.
Where did that come from? I know modeling. So I actually did my first commercial back in March of 2021.
Okay. Wow.
My commercial was Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Virginia.
Yes.
And from there, just being in the DMV area where there is so much talent as far as filmmakers, directors, producers, actors, actresses, models, entrepreneurs,
yes.
I am in a fishbowl of experience.
Yes.
And being the first lady of Smoke and Mirror Cigars, which is my cigar company that I own, I have been able to meet a lot of different people in different areas.
And I'm sorry, that's how you and I met, right? That is
exactly how you and I met.
There was a Cigar Sunday, Lance Brown and his crew. And I was told that you were coming into D.C., or you were coming out of D.C. to come on down, and why wouldn't we come out to support you and welcome you? And I think,
I definitely appreciate you guys doing that.
That's when I met you there. Okay, good. Okay. Man, there's a lot that we can talk about. Wow, this is so much. Man, come on, man. And you talk about, we can't talk for no 30. We can talk for a long time. You've got a lot of stuff to share, but you go ahead. Okay,
we gotta say something for a later date, though.
All right. But
with that came the public speaking, being the hostess, being an event planner, being a social butterfly, etc.
Yes.
Which pulled me into the acting.
Yes.
Since then, gosh, I've probably been in maybe 9 different movies. They are not out at this moment, but I have done at least 9. But as you know, with the movie world, you film for a year and then it comes out the following year.
Now let me ask you a question. So now, in all of these movies, did you get an agent? Do you have a manager? How did that come about? Someone just saw you, or how did that happen?
I do have an agent who was the one that kind of said, hey, we're Facebook friends, or I saw you on Facebook, or somebody tagged you in something. I don't even remember how Skinny and I met, 49 Parallel Films.
Yes.
So he is my booking agent, and a lot of things I also do on my own.
Okay.
Being in the new world of the information superhighway, and you have the internet, you have access to resources, you can actually do some of these things yourself. But it's always good to have a person in your back corner to help you get to that next level.
Very true. Very true.
But again, a lot of it comes from referrals. I mean, you do one movie, you meet the cast, you meet the production, you meet the director, and they say, hey, you know what? I think you'll be great. I'm working on this movie. Or they'll reach out and say, hey, do you know somebody that may fit this role? And a lot of it has been by referrals.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So you start now what made you get into the cigar business, the cigar industry?
That I have to owe to my husband.
Okay.
He is half Cuban and African American.
Okay.
And we were sitting around. Someone taught him how to smoke a cigar maybe 15 years ago. Yes. And once he smoked his first one, he fell in love with it.
Got you.
And as you know, being a cigar smoker is not a what's the word I want to look for? It's not a very cheap hobby.
It's not at all.
It's definitely not cheap at all.
Not at all.
So me being the business-minded woman that I am, after, seeing a couple of receipts and a couple of things, I said, whoa, wait a minute, buddy.
Yes.
This seems interesting. So instead of spending your money, let's find out how we can make money.
Got you.
With that, we reached out to family members that are actually in Cuba, and we have some family members in the DR. We had some connections. We traveled all over, and we decided to create our own cigar line.
Wow.
And that's how Smoke and Mirror Cigars was birthed.
Wow. And so where do you guys operate out of?
We are local to the DMV as well.
Okay.
We do not have a storefront. Part of my reasoning for not wanting to do that is I did not want to be stationary. Okay. If we had one, I would not have had the chance to come to Philly. Gotcha. I would not have been in the Lance. I would not have been in Tampa to meet all of the wonderful people that I have, all of my sisters and brothers of the League. Understood. So by us being mobile just means that we're movable, not necessarily like we're driving a vehicle mobile. We can come to you. We can bring you the entire cigar experience.
Yes.
And that's what we've done for the last 5 years.
And we love it.
Thank you.
Now, very quickly, if someone is interested in purchasing cigars, how do they do that? Just share that information with us now.
Well, right now we do not have a website.
Okay.
It is word of mouth referral, but you can go on our Facebook page or our Instagram page, which is Smoking Mirrors Cigars on Facebook, Smoking Mirrors Cigars _lip tips on Instagram. From there, you can join our Facebook groups, and you will have access to an order form where you can request the order be sent out to you.
Okay.
The reason with that is all of our cigars are hand rolled.
Okay.
So they're not sitting around prepackaged from a machine, and we just have them in massive display.
Gotcha.
We literally get a certain amount sent to us every month from our hand rollers in Cuba, and a few from the DR. And that's why we don't just have a website. You know, you look up one day, you have an order for like 5,000 cigars, and you can't fulfill that order that quickly.
Yeah.
So we do have to maintain some control with our inventory.
Okay. I can clearly see this is going to be maybe a part 2 or part 3, because you are so informative. You are doing so much, right? So now you've done the cigar line. And so in the midst of doing the cigars, you said, okay, I need to run for Miss DMV and I need to get into the modeling and acting. So typically, like a true entrepreneur, you're just doing everything that you're passionate about.
I do. My mom always told me, if you think about it, you dream about it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
There's never too much. God is not going to give you more than you can handle. And don't say no until you try it. Yes. And can't is not an option.
I love it.
So with that, as soon as I have an idea, I'll brainstorm, I'll research. If it makes sense, I'm going to try it.
Gotcha.
I may fail. I've had several businesses before that were not as successful as maybe I would have wanted them to be.
Yes.
But I have others that are flourishing.
Understood.
Like you said, starting with the modeling, doing editorial modeling, which is more print magazine.
Okay.
Also doing the acting, of course, commercials and short films. I also own my own travel agency as well. And I am a full-time employee for the federal government also. So there's a lot going on. I wear multiple hats.
Keesha, I'm tired already, man.
I hear that so much from my good friends. They're like, just listening to you, I'm drained. I don't know how you do it. And I tell you, it's nothing but God's grace that allows me to wake up every day and do it.
Wow.
And I do it with a passion, but everything I do is with the intention to affect someone else's life, to make them better.
Yes.
And whatever they're seeking, like I said, to be that role model, to let them know, if I can do this little girl from Prince George's County,
yes,
that you can also do it as well. Don't let where you've been stop you from where you're going.
Gotcha. And that was my next question I was going to ask you. What keeps you motivated? And if there were young women in front of you now, what would you say to them to encourage them?
My motivation would be, the sky's the limit, and just know that nobody can tell me no. Yes. I am my own person, and as long as I want to do it, I will do it. So I'm very self-driven.
Okay.
And I'm an accomplisher. I'm a goal setter.
Yes.
So if I set a goal, I have to knock it out.
Understood.
So yeah, and then okay, I'm be honest. Money is my motivation as well. I'm not going to lie. Okay, we all like a little extra change.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you.
But without that, it's actually the rewards that I receive from the people.
Okay.
The accolades that the people give me, the smiles that I see on individuals' faces, whether I'm giving you a cigar, whether I'm smiling in a movie, or whether we did a fabulous photo shoot, or maybe I gave you some type of counseling that helped you out in your situation, or I was able to just encourage you, give you a word of confidence.
Yes. That's
really what keeps me motivated. My inboxes, my DMs, and people say, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I didn't know that this could be done. Thank you for helping me. You've always been there whenever I had a question, or, you didn't know me from Adam and Eve and you stepped out and you helped me do X, Y, and Z. Yes. That's the real motivation right there.
I love it. Keesha, what would be something that you would have done different in your business movement so far?
Well, I thought about that. And I can't really say anything different. So prior to COVID, yes, my only regret or things I would have done different would have been to start earlier.
Okay.
And to stick with a few business ideas a little bit longer.
Got you.
I'm more so like, okay, I tried it once, I tried it twice. I'm not going to wait the third time. I'm going to walk away and do something else because I don't want to waste my time or finances.
Got you.
Mine or my investors. Once COVID hit, I realized that it's really not about what I would do differently because everything was already designed that was going to happen.
Okay.
So all I can do right now is take learning experiences from what I've done and change it towards what I want to do.
Got you.
And that's been working out pretty well for me so far.
Got you. So now let's say 5 years from now, 3 years from now, where are you in all of your entities? What's going on with all your entities? Because DMV, Miss DMV, that's a 1 year thing, correct?
That is correct. 1 year.
So once you finish that, where are we with all of these business entities?
Well, Smoke and Mirror Cigars will always be around.
Okay.
I'm a business partner on that. So prayerfully that will be around, and it'll be expanded to maybe having physical locations in different areas.
Okay.
That's the plan for Smoke and Mirror Cigars. Modeling, I plan to continue modeling. I love editorial. Like I said, commercials are my favorite. Print work is just amazing to me.
Yes.
To get so much from one photo.
Gotcha.
You know, they say a picture can tell you 1,000 words.
Yes.
That ties into actressing. I will say I am not seeking to be a lead role of any sorts, but I definitely love a supporting role. I love a great storyline, and it's something that I actually enjoy doing. So I do see myself continuing with the acting portion of my life. And I will say, people ask me again, are you going to enter another pageant? The answer is absolutely, positively, most likely no.
What? Was it a bad experience? What?
It was not. It was a wonderful experience.
Okay.
And have you ever gone maybe on a vacation or did a trip and it just was absolutely amazing? It was very organic and you just had the best time of your life.
Oh, yes.
And then you tried to do it again and it flopped.
Got you.
And that's what I don't want to happen. I want the moment to last forever. And I don't want to get caught up in, I'm going to run for another one. I'm going to be in another pageant. And maybe it's more stressful, or maybe it's more expensive, or maybe I don't place fifth or first or anything, and I just don't want that disappointment. I feel like God blessed me with the opportunity for my first pageant to actually win.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Understood. No, listen, I'm not mad at you. I respect that. Nobody wakes up in the morning to put 1,000% effort to come in fifth place. So I get that. So I understand that. Wow. But did you ever think about teaching other folks how to go through the pageantry?
I have not, because I'm still learning.
Okay.
And that's what I tell you. I didn't wake up and say, hey, I want to join a pageant. It initially was presented as a model competition.
Got you.
And that was more so of encouragement and support from others who believed in me before I saw that in myself. I knew I used to have it in me, but they ignited that flame in me again.
Wow. But I tell you what, Keesha, I was living vicariously through your videos and your photos. Man, I think I got arthritis in my finger. I was liking and loving all the pictures and videos. So you and your team did a fantastic job. I was like, I got to get her on the show. I got to get her on the show.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. And I do apologize. I actually have braces as we speak.
Yes.
And I went to the orthodontist today. So I sound a little crazy right now because they tightened everything up.
Okay, no, you sound good. You sound good.
Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Like, I don't speak like this on a normal basis. It's just I'm trying to get it out.
Yeah, no, you sound good.
Okay.
Now, but what's so exciting for me in terms of this interview is when would you tell a young person to start, and when would you tell a person of senior or of age to start their passionate movement, right? What advice would you give to people of such?
As soon as you get the notion that you may want to do it.
Got you.
Start.
Got you.
Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today, because tomorrow is not promised, and you're never too old.
Yes.
To make changes and live your dreams.
Yes.
They say the longest thing that we'll ever do in life is live.
Wow.
That's the longest thing. Now, everybody has an expiration, but as we know it,
yes,
that's a long time. So you're going to have multiple phases in your life. You're going to have multiple careers, multiple ideas, multiple talents, new birth talents, talents you didn't even know existed.
Yes.
And the world is going to change, so now you're going to have more things come out of you. So as soon as you feel it, and you feel it in your heart, and you feel it in your soul, and you're like, wow, don't think about it, do it.
Got you.
And that's what I would say to young people. Look past your local neighborhood. Look past your zip codes. Look past the United States of America if you have to.
Yes.
Get out of your comfort zone The world is designed for you to see so much without physically having to be there. Take advantage of every opportunity that is presented to you.
Yes.
I tell my children now, if there's a door, walk through it.
Yes.
If it's locked, pick it.
Got you.
Worst thing that can happen is you go in it, you open the door, and you say, oh, no, this is not for me, and you come right back out.
Got you. I love it.
That's it. But you'll never know what's on that other side until you take that leap of faith and walk through that door.
I love it. Now, I guess my next question is, so at what point do you say to yourself, I need to do something different, I need training, I need to do research, I need to have a mentor? When did all of that happen for you?
I think I say that about once a week, Kevin. I am being honest with you. I am constantly learning. I am constantly growing. I am like a child sometimes where I'm just inquisitive.
Gotcha.
And I just want to know. I want to know what's going on. I'm nosy.
Got you.
So for me, I think it's important to have a mentor, multiple mentors.
Okay.
Based on your dreams.
Yes.
If you're a struggling mom, maybe there's a mom out there that you admire, how she or dad have raised their children.
Yes.
That's a mentor. Maybe you're going back to school after, 20 years of living your life, and now you want to start a new career. Get you a mentor. If you're having some type of emotional distress or having a need to figure it out, get you a mentor.
Yes.
Some people like to call them life coaches. But always train to become greater at what you already know.
Wow.
So, yes, and it's so ironic. I actually reached out to one of the modeling agencies yesterday, and I said, hey, y'all, you're doing some coaching, right? Because I need to take a class.
Yeah.
And she's like, you just won Miss DMV. I said, yeah, that's great. I know I just won Miss DMV, but I still need some more help to sashay on this walkway to make sure I'm keeping up with the technology of the modern times.
Yes.
For me, I am a little older than the average contestant.
Keesha, listen, I could not tell you was holding it down. I'm like, what?
Yes. So I am representing for the 40 and over, 40 and over.
Yes, that's all right. I'm like, yo, she's holding it down. That's all right.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, you definitely need to have that mentor. Like I said, whether it's a big sister, just you always have to have somebody. Never say, oh, I can do this by myself, whether you're moving in praise or you're moving in stress. Either way, you should not be going through any of it alone.
Gotcha. Now, for you, looking at the landscape, have you seen more women of color start businesses since the pandemic? I
have. What? I've seen more people of color start businesses since the pandemic.
And what would we have to attribute that to?
Being pushed to the limit.
Got you.
I think as African American people, we tend to, in the past, we took what was given to us.
Yes.
Then now it became a point that we started taking things.
Yes.
And then the pandemic took things away from us again.
Gotcha.
We got comfortable in that 9 to 5. We got comfortable in that salary. We got comfortable in whatever it was that we were comfortable in.
Yes.
And then you had to go into survival mode. And we're famous. We're not famous, but we're known to be great survivors. We've gone through a lot. And I think that's what triggered a lot of the women that had children to feed, children to educate, who, I'm trying to work. I now got to take care of my child. I got to educate my child, or I got this child that needs all of these different things. And it made us sit still.
Yes.
It made the world sit still. And when you were alone and isolated, all you could do was think.
Yes.
And what I encouraged women during that time was to say, well, you're struggling right now financially. You're not alone. Everybody is. What did you spend your money on in the last year? I want you to go through your bank statements and look at what you purchased outside of necessities.
Yes.
And when you look at all those services and all those products and all those features that you just couldn't live without and you had to buy them, how can you make those items better? Why did you feel like you needed them? And what can you do to create it, to make it better and present it to someone else?
Yes.
And I think that's how a lot of businesses came about.
Wow.
Maybe you're a young lady that got your nails done every 2 weeks and spent $175, $200 to get your nails done. And then you realize, well, you know what? I've been getting it done so much, I know how to do it myself. So now I'm going to go to school.
Yes.
And I'm going to get certified. And now I'm a nail tech myself, making your own hours and making your own money.
Yes.
Being very much successful. And that's just one small example. You have an issue with your children and the clothes that they're wearing. You're not finding anything appropriate. Maybe you took a couple sewing classes, realized that you actually enjoyed it. Now you created a whole designer label, a clothing line, a clothing brand that's now blossoming to what you needed. So always figure out, what do you need? What can make your life better? Figure it out and then turn it into profit.
Yes.
And that's what we had to do.
Keesha, listen, I have a confession, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I asked you to be on the podcast, I knew you were doing a lot of stuff, but I didn't know you were going to be this deep and this informative. So thank you. Wow-wee.
Yes, you're absolutely well. Thank you. That's all I can say. Whenever I'm allowed to share a story, now my story, I have several chapters, and my book isn't finished yet.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's fine. But like I said, as this reign goes on and DMV and everything else is moving along,
yes,
there'll be more to share with the world.
Got you. Listen,
we need like a Q&A session.
Well, listen. I may just bring my equipment to DC. We get in a cigar lounge and we can do a Q&A with the folks who come out to do that. Be like a live Q&A, right?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So you have these ideas just popping up?
We can make that happen. Because, I used to spend some time in DC, so I'm familiar with the cigar landscaping. But I know that there's a new one that just opened up in Petworth Cigars, right?
That is correct. They've actually been open for quite some time now. After 3 years.
Okay.
3 years, I think now. Yes.
Okay. Oh, maybe we can set up something where I bring my equipment down, and whoever comes out to have a cigar, they can ask you questions, and we can just record that whole conversation. I would love that one.
That would be awesome too. I would tell you.
We're gonna make that happen. Yeah.
Petworth also has a podcast as well, so maybe network together.
Yeah.
And make it happen. Like I said, just go live and let the audience, chime in whatever they like, ask whatever questions. I'm very open.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can talk so much and go on and on and on that I still need structure.
Got you. No, I think for the structure this evening, and given the time frame that we allowed it for ourselves, I think that this is good. So I think that we come back from part 2, and there will be a part 2. You promised me. We're gonna.
I promise you.
We're
there
gonna
will definitely be a part 2.
We're gonna go deeper into the beginning chapters and deeper into the future chapters and see what does Keesha look like. All right.
I like that. And not to mention, what does the audience want to see from Ms. DMV? That's the question I like to ask. Okay. What would you like to see Ms. DMV represent?
Okay, yeah.
What topics do you want to see me speak on? How would you like for me to represent you?
Got you. And so what I'm going to do is when we go to put this episode together, I'm going to ask that question in the once we get your bio and your headshot, we're going to ask that question, and let's see what kind of conversation, what kind of engagement we get.
Yeah, that's really good, because like I said, I wear so many hats.
Yes.
And I don't want to mix them all up. But I want to make sure that I answer those questions that inquiring minds want to know, because that's how I was able to get to where I am. I asked those questions and I got those answers.
Yes.
And that's what I want to be able to give back to the community.
Awesome.
If I don't know the answer, you best to believe I got a resource, and I know somebody who does know the answer.
Yes. I love it. Keesha, thank you. You've been fantastic. And
thank you, Kevin.
We are going to schedule some time for us to do part 2. And we're going to also schedule some time for me to bring my equipment down to Petworth Cigars so we can do the in-person podcasting interview with you.
Sounds great.
That'll be part 3.
We also have Ladies First Cigars as well. She just opened up too, first female-owned black cigar lounge.
In D.C.?
In Maryland.
Yeah,
she's in Maryland. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Let's
Remember, you got to represent, DMV. We got to do District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia.
That's very true. We got to represent all. We got to represent them all. All right.
But, so, just hit all of them. That's all.
Fantastic.
We'll make it a tour.
Absolutely. Keesha, thank you so much. Regards to the hubby, and then let's you and I talk and text later on.
Sounds good, Kevin.
Okay.
Thank you so much, and I wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.